Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A, where we go over all the latest news that happened during the week and answer your questions live. Now, if you want us to answer your questions live, just ask it in the comments section down below, and we will answer all the questions before the end of the show. For this week, I definitely am interested to see what you guys think about the iPhone leaks. That's the big thing, the iPhone X. For those of you who have been following the latest on the channel, we do not believe it's going to be called the iPhone 8 just because simply I don't think they would do that in the same year. And they never have done it. They've never skipped an S. And we already know there will be a 7S and 7S Plus. What I believe since the longest time that it will be the name I originally said, the iPhone X. I was the first one to say that. So the iPhone X could be a possibility. The Apple phone is one that a lot of tech reviewers have come up with. I'm really backing behind that as well now too. And of course just the Apple Edition phone or the iPhone Edition, something along those lines. What do you think it's going to be called in the comment section down below? Let me know that now. And now let's get to the images themselves. All right. So first off, the first article is about showing you the genuine products. Now this is accurate as we almost always get iPhone part leaks in June. Why? Because Apple doesn't make any hardware. So they have to start making manufacturers make these parts during this time so that it's ready by September. That's why you get a lot of iPhone leaks and we kind of know exactly what it looks like by the end of the year because of that. But here's the big thing. This kind of makes it that it looks like, yes, this is a closed book. Apple will have a fingerprint scanner on the screen. Why? Here's why. There is no circle on the back to indicate the button on the back, which was in some leaks. Some leaks did show that there was a circle right underneath the Apple logo. That is not there on here. Plus, there's not a cutout for a fingerprint sensor, as it normally would be a cutout for the home button in typical fashion. That being said, it looks like it will just be embedded in the screen itself. And this is all four of them. So here's your iPhone 7S, iPhone 7S Plus, and the Apple phone of the iPhone X on this side. So you can kind of see how all of them are coming together. This is a good idea in how the iPhone will look like overall with the new iOS 11 baked into the iPhone X. Really, it looks exactly what we have thought it would be. Now, I'm curious, so with these leaks, we still see a bit of a curve on the iPhone, and yet I'm wondering because it's supposed to have more of a screen like the G6 than the S8. For those of you who didn't know, Apple chose not to get a curved OLED. They are getting a flat OLED. So I don't know, I feel like it might not be as clean as these are showing because that still seems more of like a curved screen than a flat screen. And they're already paying a lot for the OLED panel, so they didn't want to go up more expensive. This iPhone will be $1,069. As well as the big thing about this is the reason why it's costing so much is because Apple used to pay Samsung for LCDs. They used to pay about $30. This one is over $70 for the OLED. So it's $40 more, and they're of course not going to pay that themselves. That's going to get passed on to the consumers. So that's what we're getting for the next iPhone. What do you guys think of this design? Do you guys think it makes sense? It reminds me a lot of the iPhone 4 back. Like the iPhone just seems to kind of like, recycling the old feature in a new phone with a new front and repackaging it as a grand phone. So let me know what you guys think. I think it's a fitting phone for an anniversary phone, right? Now, we also have a supplier that makes a lot of iPhone parts actually leak out a big thing, and that is that it will have wireless charging. Now, we have been saying this on the channel for a long time now, that the next iPhone will of course have waterproofing, and finally wireless charging. Wireless charging is an amazing feature. Once you have it, I'm telling you, you will never want to let go of it. And I know a lot of people don't, I don't see the point of it. watch, every iPhone user that said that, oh, wireless charging is useless, every one of them is going to get hooked on wireless charging, and I'm going to laugh my ass off. But yeah, no, wireless charging is so awesome. It maintains your battery life better than regular, and it's just such a great feature to have. It's definitely great. I'm more curious of what Apple's wireless charging pad will look like. That's the one thing I'm very curious about. So it will have wireless charging, though. We do know that now because of this gentleman. I'm sure Tim Cook had a conversation with him after he said this. All right, and speaking of new phones, we also have a release date for the new Note 7, being dubbed the Note FE. Now, if you haven't been paying attention to the channel for a little while now, we have covered that the Note 7, of course, would be coming out again. However, it's not going to come out in certain countries. It was stated a long time ago the US would not be one of them, so the US will not be getting this phone. But in certain countries, they will be releasing it, starting with Korea, on July 7th. So that's the big thing, that it will be on July 7th. It will be released, and it will be called the Galaxy Note FE. Now, my thing is, I'm just curious to see how many people out there would gladly get the Note again. I'm just curious to see that. Now, the price point looks to be about $620 if you convert it. So it's very curious to see how many will actually be purchased and how many people will gladly take that Note again. It will, again, not be called the Note 7, it will be called the Note FE, but I'm just kind of really curious to see how many people will be like, yeah, I would gladly get the Note again. It will have a smaller battery. For those of you who didn't know, the reason why the Note 7 had all those issues was because if they had made the phone millimeters thicker, or if they had just made a smaller battery inside that phone would have had no problems whatsoever. So that is what they did. They made the phone, they made the phone the same size, but they made the battery in it smaller. So I think it's like 300 milliamps less. They really only needed 100 milliamps less because it was millimeters that caused the issue. But it really now is just a smaller battery, so it won't have a pinch where you had it before. And obviously it's going through all this Samsung testing that Samsung is now doing. For those of you who don't know, most phone manufacturers do a 4-point test. Samsung is now doing an 8-point test, obviously because they need to after the whole Note 7 issue. So just a lot of rigorous stuff. I mean, they're literally drilling holes into phones as part of these tests. And speaking of Samsung, one more thing about them, you can now gain Bixby Early Access. So this is a sign-up feature that you can sign up to actually get Bixby to work on your phone. Now, Bixby Home and Bixby Vision is currently on Galaxy S8s, but the biggest part that we don't have is Bixby Voice. That is a big miss. So Samsung is starting to allow early access to anyone in the US. You just go to this website. You can just Google Bixby Early Access, sign up, type in agree, put in your username, and this is what Bixby Voice will look like, and that's what you will get sooner or later. Now, they have not said when this is coming out, but my guess is I think Bixby Early Access will be this month, sometime in June, and I don't think we're going to get full-on Bixby Voice till July, mid-July, end of July. Let me know what you guys think. I think if Samsung is barely doing early access right now, I think it's going to be at least another 2 weeks to a month after this. So let me know. All right, and one last thing is the LG G6 now comes with an extra year of warranty for free in the US. I thought this was a really good feature that I just want to let you guys know about. If you have a G6, then it now comes with a extended warranty, so you get a extra year, so a full 2-year warranty for your LG G6. Now, as far as I know, this does only cover your basics, so it's not going to cover like breaking or anything like that. But if it does go bad, say the battery goes bad in that time, you actually get a replacement. That's a really cool thing. It's something that HTC has done. HTC actually covers breaking it too, but it's really a cool idea that manufacturers are actually starting to cover their phones more than just the norm. Let me know what you guys think. I think it's a great add-on that, quite frankly, I think more manufacturers should do, and I would love to see one of the big two, either Samsung or Apple, start to do it. But it definitely won't be Apple, and I don't think it would be Samsung, just because, again, it's so much money in, obviously, you breaking your phone or you damaging your phone. Alright, guys, now let's get to the questions. If you have a question you would like to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below, and I will get to it before the end of the show. Because some of you guys always ask me wrestling questions, I do want to specify that no, I did not see the show yet, so I'm going to see it after this, so don't spoil it. Alright, now let me have some coffee, and then I will get to your questions. So again, ask whatever questions you want in the comment section down below, and I will answer in a few seconds. Alright. So, I think the leaks of the iPhone look bad. Really? I actually thought they looked fitting. I thought that, again, if you have followed us on the channel, this is what we've thought the iPhone would look like. It is pretty much like, so everything was right. I see. Everything was right. And that's what we're expecting to get. So, yeah, it looks just like we thought it would. Oh, good catch, Chad. Or on the power button. I think Apple would shock a lot of people if they had it on the power button. For those of you who don't know, there are some phones that do have a fingerprint scanner on the power button. Now, this is different because you have to make special cases for it because the case can't cover up the fingerprint scanner, which isn't too big of a deal. But, you know, it's a very niche market that has that. So that would be a really, if Apple couldn't get the fingerprint scanner on the screen and they didn't want to put it on the back, if they would put on the power button, that would be very interesting. It would also mean, though, that it wouldn't be that much of a curve because it's hard to kind of do a curve. You need to do a little bit more stiff, like Sony does it, a little bit more square-like than curvy to fit a fingerprint scanner on a power button. But that would be really interesting. I think I might just be iPhone 7, 7S. I might just be, or do you think, I mean, they're going to have a different iPhone. They will have an iPhone 7S and an iPhone 7S Plus, and they are going to have a more expensive iPhone. We just don't know what it's called yet. Apple's new phone broke before shipped and on their durability track. On another note, have you heard about the Essential phone coming exclusively to Sprint? Yes, I did hear about that. I believe we covered it last week, if I'm not mistaken. If I didn't, I just might have lost the article. I'm switching over from my current computer to a new computer. So I'm finally, I bought a new Alienware desktop. I did a video on it a couple weeks ago. And I'm finally switching everything over from one computer to another. Thing is that process takes time because, like, this software that I do live videos with, I'm going to need to install that on a new, and I couldn't do that on Sunday because if I don't have it on time, then I wouldn't be able to do the show. So I was like, you know what? Let me just make it for this day. So I'm going to be mainly doing it tomorrow. So I'll be switching over everything, and should be fun. Happy Father's Day to everyone. Yes, happy Father's Day to anyone that is a father in the chat. Happy Father's Day, and hopefully you wish your dad a happy birthday if your dad is still with us. So yeah, really, happy Father's Day to everyone. If my phone battery is hot, is it charging properly? It could be charging properly. Usually your phone battery gets hotter when it's already at 100% and you're still charging it. That is one time when it does get hotter because you're still charging it when it's already at 100%. So that is one point when it gets hotter. However, it can just be hot as normal. Is it like really, really hot, like where you can't hold it? That could be a defect. So it just depends. Hey Ricky, what do you think about the news of Samsung haven't got a single report on the S8 and S8 Plus battery catching fire? I mean, I think that's to be expected. It's funny, right? Like, oh my God, none of the phones have caught on fire, but that's what you expect, you know? I mean, look, the whole Note 7 issue was blown way out of proportion. I said that plenty of times. I mean, it was less than 100 people out of 2.5 million phones. After you count all the ones that were actually fake and trying to just get money from Samsung, it was less than 50. So, I mean, I don't know. It was blown out of proportion. I think Samsung did the best they could in that situation, which no company would ever want to go through. I think if also Samsung wasn't as big as they were, the company would have folded. Like if this would have happened to a smaller, if this would have happened to a company like HTC, the way they are in phones right now, it would have been done. They would never make another phone again. Like if it wasn't, sorry, my mail just fell. If it wasn't some of the big stuff, it would have been bad. I'll gladly get the Note again. Note 8. Yes, the Note 8 is probably what most of us are waiting for a new Note. I think the 8-point battery check paid off. Yes, it definitely did. $620 is really a lot for a year-old device. I agree, actually. Now, keep in mind, though, Alex, that is for the price in Korea, which, you know, they would be more expensive when converting it to dollars. So it will actually be less overall compared to most phones out over there, but still, it's expensive. I would imagine it would be like $550, but I think Samsung's going to try to put it at that price point for now, and then if it doesn't sell, then lower it. That just seems like a better play, I guess. Because you have to figure when the Note 8 would release, then it would immediately lower anyway. So they're probably just trying to get as much money as they can for the first people that really want it back, and then, of course, lower it once the new one comes out. What early Bixby release? I rather wait for Rigsby. It is so much better. I mean, Rigsby, I'm telling you, Rigsby launch in 2018, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. What websites do you use? I use a lot of different websites. I'm assuming you mean for tech articles. I use Phone Arena. I use Sam Mobile. I use Engadget. I use The Verge. I use TechCrunch. I use a wide variety of them. I also just will look on, I still use Flipboard just to kind of browse tech articles, which obviously goes through like every tech article. So yeah, I use a lot of different ones. Did you watch Money in the Bank? I already talked about that evolution. I have not watched it yet. I'm going to watch it after I record. So no, I didn't watch it beforehand. I always watch it after. I don't watch it before. Just because then it's like if it's a match, I'm going to be like, oh my god, you see this match, but I need to record. Did you see some of the benchmark scores for the iPad Pro, where it's more powerful than a MacBook 2015 or 2016? So yes, I did. First of all, it is more powerful than older MacBooks. It actually beats Mac in GPU handedly, which isn't to be surprised, honestly, because Intel does a really crappy job with graphics. Intel graphics cards, built-in integrated graphics, has never been that good. So any separate dedicated graphics card, even a mobile one, would handedly beat it. If you ever take a look, actually, benchmark tests we've done on phones like the S8 and other phones have beaten tablets like the Surface. And that is a full-on computer, full PC. Now, why does it beat it? Well, that's easy because it has a dedicated graphics card. It even has that Valve waterproofing, or not waterproofing, water cooling through vapor. So yeah, things like that obviously mean it's going to beat it graphically. Now, in terms of the processing, it didn't come close, obviously, in single core. In multi-core, I believe it beat like a 2-year-old Mac, but obviously none of the current Macs. And that's just, I mean, no matter what, these mobile processors are getting faster and faster. And part of the reason is because they're smaller. These architectures for mobile processors are actually smaller compared to current gen processors. So like processor in my desktop right now, it's an i7 processor. It is bigger than a mobile processor currently is. The reason why that's important is because it takes less time to get from point A to point B the smaller it is. And that is, I mean, you're talking milliseconds here, but that's what we're basing benchmarks off of. What's a good laptop for a new college student? Around $500. What's a more solid name brand? Thanks. Look, I think when it comes to laptop brands, you're going to have a whole bunch of different people tell you different things, and it's because we all have our own experiences. For me, I've never had issues with HP, right? I've had a whole bunch of friends have issues with HP. Like, they would never recommend an HP in their life. They hate it, right? I don't have that issue. I have had good experience with Toshiba. I have a friend that hates Toshiba because he's had 2 really bad Toshibas, so he never would get a Toshiba again. Again, understandable. For me, Lenovo is a brand that's definitely come up better and better over the years, so I would recommend them. I also really like Asus as well. I think they're a really good quality brand, so I would recommend them as well. I personally recommend Asus and Lenovo first and foremost because they don't have the big name brand recognition. You're going to get them for less expensive. Dell's another good one, so is HP, but again, your experience may vary. The more important thing to look at when you're getting a $500 laptop is make sure you're getting a minimum of an i5 processor. You can get an i7 if it's one on sale, but you want a minimum of an i5 processor. So when you're comparing them to, say, like Best Buy, on sale this week, also go to the brand's website. So, for instance, my wife's laptop is a Lenovo. I got that when it was on sale on Lenovo's website. I just waited for a sale to come, and as soon as it came, I bought it directly from them, and it was a really good discount, cheaper than at a Fry's or a Best Buy would have had that same setup. But that's the big thing, is if you're going for $500, the main thing you want to do is get an i5 processor, so it's going to last you longer, not slow down on you as quickly. Stay away from i3s, M3s, and lower quality AMD processors. Mid-range AMD is fine, but you have to get like an A8, A9. I don't actually, that's their old processing. I don't know what their current gen names are for AMD processors, but you just want a really good quality one that's not slower on you. So that's the big thing I recommend is get an i5 processor at minimum for a $500 laptop. And I would choose that over brand, personally. If you can get a solid state, great, but at that price, you're probably getting a 128 gig solid state. I don't recommend getting a solid state under 256. Again, that's what I would recommend. Note 8 is not that impressive, but the iPhone is looking surprisingly. We haven't talked about the Note 8 today, or do you mean just in general, like on the past weeks we've talked about the Note 8, but we haven't talked about the Note 8 today. We talked about the Note FE, which is a redux of the Note 7. But I mean, currently the Note 8, from what we know, would have everything the iPhone X would have, with the exception of the fingerprint on the screen that we still don't know about. I hate it's going from Note 7. I hated going from Note 7 to S7. I will be getting the Note 8. It sucks because I have to pay out my S7. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be in that situation. It's really curious to see what Samsung's going to do, if anything, to help people kind of get out of their contract early. My Note 5 battery life is draining a lot quicker after the Android N update. How can I fix it? Unfortunately, just check out my video on how to improve the battery life on the Note 7. I know it's a Note 7, you have a Note 5, but that will match the update version of your phone now, and that should help alleviate some of the battery strain. So check that video out, and that should help you. What do you think of the OnePlus 5 design? Well, it hasn't been announced officially yet. That's actually tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or is it Tuesday? Let me just see real quick. June 20th, so that's Tuesday. So Tuesday is the big announcement date for the OnePlus 5. Definitely the one that I'm really thinking to pick up, actually. So we haven't heard back from OnePlus yet, so I don't think we're gonna get it from them. But I might make the executive decision to just buy it for the channel, just to review for you guys and compare it to other phones throughout the year. The new iPhone will have a big hand over the Note 8 by simply having the FPS on the screen. where the Note 8 FPS will be what they can't do. Oh, you're talking about the hertz, not the frames per second. Don't get those two things mixed up. You're thinking of 120 hertz instead of 60 hertz. So that's what you're thinking of. Yes, the 120 hertz, if Apple brings it to the phone, would be very interesting. Now, they've only done it on a tablet, so we can't say that they're definitely going to bring it to the iPhone. You would hope for over $1,000 it would be on the iPhone, but you cannot say that's a definite. We have not heard of Samsung doing it, but you have to remember that Samsung made that screen. Samsung made the 120 hertz screen on the iPhone. Or sorry, on the iPad. You do realize that, right? Samsung made that screen. So it's not to say that Samsung doesn't know how to do the technology and couldn't bring it to the Note. It's just something that we have not heard of yet today. So keep that in mind. Have you heard anything new about wireless charging, but over-the-air wireless? No, that technology is just not ready yet. What he's referring to is right now, currently for wireless charging, you have to get a pad, put it down on the pad, and that's how it charges. It's actually conductive, conductive charging, but we call it wireless charging because there's no wire connecting it to the dock. However, what most people want is true wireless charging, which is, say if I have a table, if I have this thing, this can get charged even though they're not touching or anywhere near each other. The idea is that is true wireless charging. That technology is nowhere near where it needs to be. And you have to keep in mind this. Current wireless charging is already slow. That wireless charging is way too slow. Way too slow. Especially to charge up something fast that we would want for our phone. So as of right now, no, it's not anywhere near where it needs to be. You're probably looking at 5 more years before we get true wireless charging. And I'm not over exaggerating. It really is almost that far away. Is the S7 gonna get the software and Bixby from the S8? It will not get Bixby. As far as I know, it will not get Bixby. It will get software most likely closer to the S8, but I don't know. I mean, they might just make you get the S8. I don't think they're going to do it perfectly, even though I had the S7 Edge with Android 7.0 and it sucked, so they really need the tweaks that they brought to the S8 in my opinion. Do you think the HTC U11 is better than the S8 Plus? Overall, no. Now, we do not have the U11. We are still waiting. We're on the list, according to HTC, for the U11, but we have not gotten it yet. But if I go off just of what I've seen, especially photo samples, I think the camera was a little bit overhyped because it's not actually showing to be better than the S8 in all comparisons. So that's the big thing. The one of the biggest things, and something that people have, no camera company has been able to do yet, is beat Samsung this year in a camera comparison on the S8. So that's going to be the choice that we see later on. I mean, look, OnePlus is supposed to have an amazing camera too, so that one's going to be a definite contender, and that's why I really can't wait to get that one. But HTC U11, at least in the photo comparisons I've seen, it has not beat it. And you have to think, if OnePlus can do it, that would be amazing if it can do it for that price point. But the big one, of course, is Apple going to just destroy it, be completely better than it? That's the big wow factor that I would love to see from the next iPhone. My Google Chrome has been buggy on my laptop. Which browser do you use? I use Google Chrome. If it's buggy though, sometimes you just do have to close it out or restart your laptop. Make sure it's updated. I mean, I update my Google Chrome automatically every time. So, and I restart my computer every so often so that it refreshes it as well. So that's just what I would recommend. Also check what extensions you have. It could be an extension that's causing it to be buggy, or it could be some cookies. If you clear your cookies on your browser, that'll help too. One of those things is it's making it buggy. Do you think iPhone is copying Samsung's Infinity screen with the screen that they have now? I'm guessing you mean, is Apple going to copy Samsung's Infinity display on this iPhone X or Apple phone? Again, they will not, because it's going to be like a G6 display, not like an S8 display. Again, Apple's will not have a curve on it like Samsung's does. It will be a flat and then a curve on the metal. So it does not curve. So no, it will not have an infinity display style, but it will have a LG like full vision style. So if you look at the front of the G6, that is a good indication of how the iPhone screen will look like. Which phone is better than the LG 6? I think it's the new one out or the S8. I think right now in Android it is between LG G6 and S8. I would say on most tech websites they have said the S8. I might as well tell you guys, we actually finally got a G6 in the studio. We had a really cool friend of the channel actually talk to my editor Wayne, and he actually said, "Hey, you guys can use it for 2 weeks," and I was like, "That is freaking awesome." So gonna use it, gonna put it through the ringer. We're gonna get the 10 hidden features on the LG G6. We're gonna find out all about it. We're gonna do a camera comparison. We're gonna do a full comparison against the S8 and S8 Plus. With the G6, would you rather see a full comparison against the S8 or the S8 Plus? Let me know in the comment section down below. For the LG G6, do you want to go against the S8 or the S8 Plus? Let me know. Hey Ricky, my S8 has a new Bixby update. When I do it, it says it works, but when I come onto it, it tells me to update it even though I already did it. How do I fix this? I'm not sure. I would probably clear Bixby. Go to your applications, go into Bixby and clear data in the settings. Sorry, go to settings, then applications, then Bixby, and then clear Bixby data. So it will not think that it will basically restart it to the way you got it when you first got the phone, and then it'll do the update and it will be done. Can you sum up the Note 8 leaks so far that aren't too far-fetched? The Note 8 leaks that we've heard about are really rumors. So none of them are true leaks, meaning like that they are actual from people, specifically from Samsung. Like last week, if you actually saw the show, a Samsung representative actually publicly stated that that he did not believe that the fingerprint scanner would be on the screen, just because it was not testing well for security issues, as well as now we're finding out that it might have had issues with the brightness as well. So for that reason, that it will not be on the phone. That is the only one that we do not know. Now, we also have had plenty of reports saying, of course, it will be a dual lens camera. We've had plenty of things like that. But those are the main ones that we've kind of heard for rumors. Now, those are the only ones I would say are not far-fetched. Other than that, we have no idea. Oh, stereo speaker. We have, 6 there's been different rumors on the display size, right? They're like 6.2, 6.3, 6.4. We have no idea what the display size is going to be, but it's just supposed to be a little bit bigger. And then, what was the other rumor that was interesting was a 4K display, not a 2K display, as the S8 has and as all Samsung has had for the past couple of years. But it would come in default by 1080p, but you can put it up to 4K, which would be the big 4K phone that's mainstream. It would be the first 4K phone that's mainstream. Yes, Sony and other people have done it. It hasn't been true 4K after putting it through test, but it would be the big one. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think on that. Those are the rumors right now. And again, more rumors than leaks, because there hasn't been any leak actually yet on the Note, and that's just because, unlike Apple, what we talked about earlier, the reason why Apple Parks always leak is because they always leak in June. We know what the iPhone looks like in June every year. By the end of June, we will have pretty much a full mock-up dummy iPhone. I swear, it's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. We're going to have a full dummy iPhone in the next 2 weeks, and that's because Apple doesn't make their own hardware. The difference is Samsung makes most of theirs, so that's why you don't see Samsung leak until like the month of, compared to Apple leaking way ahead of time. Where are we going now? I just don't get the hype of OnePlus. I don't get it. It really is. It depends. Oh wait, sorry, I missed a couple of them. Well, I'll answer this one, then I'll go back. I don't get the hype of OnePlus is just getting a lot of great quality parts in a lower price point. Now you're talking about a $200 price difference, sometimes $300. Sorry, price point difference, which is substantial. I mean, if you're talking about a $300 difference on a phone, that's a pretty substantial for getting all the same parts but just a lower price. That's the idea behind OnePlus, that they wanted to give a cheaper solution without all the carrier stuff, without anything else, giving you all the great features of all-day battery life, great camera quality, or the best camera quality is what they're trying to do, all for a lower price than their competitors of Samsung, than LG, than HTC, than Huawei, cheaper than all of them for a lower price and a better phone. That's their idea. Okay, now I did miss some questions. Samsung Chromebook Pro just came out for $550. Is it worth it? I would argue for a student, it wouldn't be worth it. Now, the reason why I say that is because of the fact that for a student, I feel like there's gonna be times when you need certain things. For instance, on Windows, you want Silverlight. I think that's what it's called still, Silverlight. Which is a website requirement that only Microsoft computers have or Macs have. I don't think Chromebooks have it, to be honest. I would have to check into that. But student websites for college need that, basically, to submit papers to and to check your grades on. And if it doesn't have that, then that would be a big problem, obviously. So I don't think Chromebooks are there yet, personally, to replace a college student. I think if you're in high school, it's fine, actually. I do think if you're in high school, a Chromebook should be fine for everything you need. But I think it's when you get to that other part that it might not be enough. Greetings, how are you feeling today? I am feeling much better, Quiet Storm. Thanks for asking. If you saw last week's episode, I was just feeling really sick. I felt sick that day, and then Monday and Tuesday, and then by Wednesday I was starting to feel better. So thank you for asking. Appreciate it. I have a bad feeling about Bixby. I'm pro Rigsby. Rigsby is way better than Bixby. We already know Rigsby is way better than Bixby. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. The longer it takes for Samsung to come out with Bixby, I think the better it has to be if it's going to succeed. They're only going to get one shot. So I do applaud them for taking their time on that shot. They don't want to rush it out and it just be like, oh, this is garbage. Because then no one's ever going to use it. No one's ever going to give it a second chance. It's like, perfect example right here. Apple Maps. Apple Maps was garbage when it came out. Everyone was just like, F this, take me back to Google Maps. Everyone. It was such garbage when it came out. Apple Maps has dramatically improved since it came out. It has gotten much, much better compared to what it was. Is it better than Google Maps? No, not even close. All these new features that they're getting on iOS 11, Google Maps has had for a long time. Oh, you can check what floor you're on in a mall. Yeah, Google Maps has had that for about 4 years. It's like, they're catching them on features that has been around for a long time. But mostly people aren't going to give it a chance again. Why? Because they had their shot. They had their shot. People tried it, hated it because it was garbage when it came out. And that's what Samsung shouldn't do. They should take their time, make sure it's really good, because people are only going to give Bixby one shot. They cannot wait to, it's going to get better over time. People will not test it out. People will not go to it later. They're just going to try it the first time. Case in point, S-Voice. S-Voice was on Samsung since the Galaxy S3. I used it on the Galaxy S3, did not use it on the Galaxy S4, did not use it on the Galaxy S5, did not use it on the Galaxy S6. Why? Because Google was better. I gave it a shot, didn't use it any time after. And some of my friends actually told me that S-Voice had improved a lot more. Didn't give it a shot though. After I tried it, didn't give it a shot again. Hello from Japan. Wow, hello. Hey, from Japan. Have you heard about Samsung Pay coming to Japanese S8 variants? I was able to download Samsung Pay from the Play Store, but it won't open after attempting to open the app. Yeah, no. As of right now, unfortunately, I've not heard about it going to Japan. They are still rolling it out in country by country basis. And the last I heard, India, but I've not heard about Japan yet, unfortunately. I'm so thankful what you do for us. Tell us the latest tech news. Oh, no problem. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to always do this. It's fun. It's really fun to connect with you guys at least once a week. That way I get what's going on out there and what do you guys care about. Where will the fingerprint scanner be on the Note 8? I hope it's being placed then the S8. To be completely honest, I wish they had got rid of the Bixby button. It's going to be very curious on the buttons all overall because those are the two big questions, right? Bixby and the fingerprint scanner. Those are the two things we do not know where they will be on the Note 8 as of now. I'm very curious to see for both. I would think that it would be cool. I know a couple of people have mentioned this already, but I do think if Samsung can't put it on the home screen, that they should put the fingerprint scanner on the power button. I don't think that's likely. I don't think that's likely at all. But that's where I would think. That way the back is clean, the front is clean, and you just have it on the side where your finger goes, like right here. Bam, unlock your phone. I would think that would be the best place, but that's just my opinion. Do a drop tip. Do a drop test on his LG G6. Yeah, I don't think if my editor's watching, hey Wayne, we're gonna do a drop test on his G6. Is that cool? All right. I really hope he sees this now. If the Note 8 disappoints me, then I will go to the Pixel 2. I think the Note 8 has to be amazing. I think Samsung knows that, to be honest. I think Samsung knows the Note 8 has to be amazing. So it's really curious on what they're going to do for that. All the hype about the Note 8 and the iPhone 8 need to watch out for the Pixel 2. Think this will turn heads. I think the Pixel 2 is going to be a very interesting phone this year because Pixel has to come with it. But there's rumors right now that the Pixel 2, and they're rumors, so I didn't put it on the show, but there's rumors right now that the Pixel 2 could not have an XL. It could just have a regular Pixel 2, and that's it. No bigger phone. That would be crazy. I think that would be stupid because I think the Pixel XL definitely outsold the Pixel. But what do you guys think if that would be true? I don't think it's true, to be honest. I really don't. But what do you guys think it would be? Would you guys be pissed if there was no Pixel XL2 and just a Pixel 2? I think it would be stupid. Just because bigger phones are more in right now. I do remember if I asked you this question last week, but why do iPhones keep their value over time and Android doesn't? Marketing, branding, people, and you have to realize that you're talking about the U.S. specifically, which Apple sells the most in the U.S. So that's one part of your answer right there. If you're talking about different countries, that's actually not true. So it really depends on where you're talking about. But you're talking about the U.S., I'm guessing. Which, yeah, it's Apple sells more in the U.S., and that's it. It's all in the perception. Apple is king of marketing in the U.S., so their brand is a luxury brand, so it will retain the price point more. That's just it. That's why. Also, they don't do as many sales if you think about it too. Sales decrease the value of a phone. If this phone was at one point sold for $500 instead of $700, then you're not going to get, then, you went when you would have got 400 for a used $700 phone, maybe 6 months, a year later. Now you're getting 300 just because it had dropped in price at one point from the sale. So that's how value works too. G6 versus the S8 Plus. Do both S8 and S8 Plus. You're asking a lot of me. I might do both. Hey Ricky. Hey Jeremy. Do you have any thoughts on Sprint's 1-year service for free that will make a dent in Verizon's customer base, or if anyone will actually stay if they offer it? I don't think it's going to help them. I don't think it's going to help them. Sprint has been practically giving away everything, as now they're literally giving away their service for free. I don't think it's going to help them. I'm sorry. I think Sprint's on its way out. I do not know. When people ask me what can Sprint do to bounce back, I don't know. Their marketing is good right now. Their deals are amazing. Their deals are better than any other carrier. But it's not enough. They keep going down quarter over quarter. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think their network just got too screwed over on the move to LTE. And it's crazy, I mean, when they had... oh, God, what was their technology called? I know, not CDMA, but they're... not Wi-Fi, but it sounded like Wi-Fi. For... T-Mobile and AT&T had HSPA Plus. Sprint had... Damn, what was Sprint's technology? The technology like the Evo had, like the original Evo. HTC Evo 4G. What was that technology called? WiMAX. There you go, WiMAX. Sprint WiMAX had no compatibility with LTE, so they literally had to build new towers. They could not use their existing towers, and that was so bad. That was just that caused a big issue in their network, and it was just really bad. So yeah. It would be cool if to have one wide-angle lens and one 2x zoom lens. So 3 lenses then. One wide, one regular, and one 2x. I think we'll have it at some point. I honestly do think we'll have 3 lenses at some point. Do you know anything about the Note 8 that you aren't telling us? I have told you everything about the Note 8 that I legally can. Ricky, why Samsung put Bixby voice on the S8? Ricky, what do you have? Oh, okay. Ricky, why Samsung put Bixby voice on an S8? They haven't put it yet. Bixby voice is not out yet. It's currently you can sign up for early access, and that will probably come out this month, I'm guessing. And then full Bixby maybe next month. I don't know. July. I don't know. What smartphone do you have and why? My current daily driver is the S8 Plus. Why? Because it's what I believe to be the current best smartphone out there. Battery life and camera are the 2 things I rate the highest. That my phone needs to be the best, or else I feel I'll just get another phone. And currently, battery life and camera, S8 Plus is the top. Do you think the S8 is a good phone to buy? Is it a good phone to buy? Yes. S7 is a good phone to buy. However, I do not recommend always buying old technology personally, just because I like to buy the newest technology so that it can last longer to when I buy it. That's everyone has their own philosophy. That's just what I like to do. I rather save up more money to buy the current gen than get the older gen at a great price point. But again, everyone has their own philosophy on that. I'm new to Android. Can you explain launchers? Are they safe? What do and which do you use? Sure. So a launcher changes the entire look of your phone. So, can you see this? Yeah, you can kind of see it. This is Samsung's version of Android. I swipe up. I have, in a nice simple grid here. I have a search my phone function here. I have different screens, but as you can see, like a Google search isn't at the top. Very, nice and neat. This is my launcher. My launcher has more rows than Samsung does. It also has a Google part that stays always available there. It also has my date up there when I have that too. So it has my date and the weather and Google always there for me. So I like that. I can customize when I swipe up so it's a clear background. I don't have the search phone function because I don't use it here. But so that is the idea behind it. You completely customize the look of your phone, and you can do things like that. So I did 2 swipe to actually go from this version of Android to my Samsung version. I can also do things like this. So see when I swipe down here, it goes to the app drawer, right? That's just how Samsung does it. However, when I swipe down on my launcher, I pull down the notification panel. So I really like that because I can pull down the notification panel, simple and easy. So that is that's the idea behind the launcher. It changes the look of your phone and allows you to do different things and customize everything. You can also make it much faster, and I like it because on Samsung's version of Android, I can't go past a certain part. On my version with the launcher, I can go around and around and around and around, and I love that. Which one do I use? I use Nova Launcher. I have done several videos on it, so please check it out to really get it. Actually, on my must-have apps for the S8, I go over Nova Launcher and show you a little bit more in depth, so check that out as well. Are they safe? Yes, they're completely safe. There's nothing wrong with launchers. Love this show. It is the best tech show out there. Well, thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. Is Bixby voice really worth it for the hype? Not sure what to say about it. Bixby, we don't know if it's worth the hype yet because it's not out yet. So it hopefully will be worth the hype and be worth the wait, but we do not know yet. Hey Ricky, what do you think about the phone cost $1,000, not $800, $900, just $1,000? Also glad you're feeling better. I mean, we're gonna have the next iPhone will be starting at $1,069. $1,000.69. That'll be the next iPhone. It's gonna sell. I really wonder how much it's gonna sell, but it's gonna sell. So yeah. Would be awesome if they can make a Bixby button on the fingerprint make the Bixby button a fingerprint scanner. I would be happy with either. That would actually be a really good idea to make the Bixby button, the third button on this side, just a fingerprint scanner, and that's it. I would be happy with that too. Currently own a Gear S2. Is it worth upgrading to the Gear S3? I would personally wait. The Gear watches come out every time the Note comes out, so I would wait at this point since you're about 3 to 2 months away. But who knows? I mean, Gear S3 has definitely a better battery life and has a bigger screen. That's the main reason to get the Gear S3 over the Gear S2. If they put the fingerprint scanner under the lens on the Note 8, I think it would be better placement than the S8. I do think so as well. I do think under the lens of the camera. So if it would be here, basically, because you're gonna have 2 lenses up and down, right? So if it would be here, I do think that would be better. But we'll see if it happens. At least if the Bixby button doubles as a scanner, I think people many people being mad at the button being there would be happy it's there. I agree with that. Actually, I do agree with that. I'm looking for the Note 8. I have an S8 Plus, but I'm not a fan. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, you're looking forward to the Note 8 because you didn't like the S8 Plus. To each their own. Everyone has their own feature they're looking for. Don't get me wrong. As much as I like this S8, I am throwing it the fuck away and getting my Note 8 easily, just easily. Um, Sprint sucks in Virginia and NC. Yeah. Hey, someone knew WiMAX. um, Considering value drop, I can't imagine how hard 120 sale price on the LG G6 is gonna hurt it in the future. Oh, considering the value drop, yeah, I can't imagine how hard. Yeah, no, LG did drop the price on the phone, and that will drop its value later, as we were talking about earlier. Did you look at the Gear S2? Is that Gear S2 is a good buy or not? I had the Gear S2 before. Had it for a full year. Gear S2 is great. My wife and my mom still have a Gear S2. So my brother did upgrade to the Gear S3. He wanted a longer battery life, so he upgraded to the Gear S3. But yeah, Ricky, I plan on cutting the cable cord. What's a good service to have? Okay, so this is actually, it's funny because I have been meaning to do a video on this, and I wanted to give YouTube TV a little bit more time to grow. So here's the thing. The best service, I would say, currently right now, the one that I would personally go with, most likely, is PlayStation Vue. PlayStation Vue has probably the best service for the price, as well as it has the most features, namely being able to record shows. However, the one with the most channels is DirecTV Now. So currently, right now, it should be between those two. Which is surprising because Sling TV was the best for a long time, but PlayStation Vue has its number. Maybe as Sling TV gets better, it'll be bigger. So that'll be another one to contend with. The definite other one is YouTube TV. How unfortunately though, YouTube TV really doesn't have that much of a selection. They have one price point with minimal channels, and it's just not enough channels. So yeah, those are the four main competitors. Again, I was literally going to do this. I had all the graphics ready, and I was just like, I want it to grow a little bit more because YouTube TV is not in a fighting position. It's going to get knocked. It'll be the first one out right now at this point. Everything else is better than YouTube TV, even though YouTube TV I will believe will be great later on. But currently it's probably the weakest. So yeah. Are you excited about T-Mobile 600 megahertz spectrum for T-Mobile? It's not supported on any current phone, and it will make it will make it on newer phones. I actually thought that was supported on the S8, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Let me just do a quick check on that. Galaxy S8 specs. Where are the bands? All the bands. Battery life. Great. You're not telling me the band Samsung. I don't appreciate that. Because it does have the gigabit speed, so I thought that their 600 would fall under that, but I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Dang it, you're not telling me it. Okay. T-Mobile. No. Ah. Okay. So I guess you're right though. It doesn't specify 600 band. So I guess you're right that it doesn't. There's a lot of fine print here. I don't think it will support that one, but it does have the fastest internet currently on a smartphone right now. So much so that it's not even ready for most carriers. So yeah, currently Samsung does have the fastest internet on all smartphones. It's just not available yet. But yeah, according to this, it does not have the 600 hertz speed. Okay. But yes, I am excited for that, and hopefully we'll get that on the Note 8 and the iPhone X. Can maybe Sprint can bounce back by having their name in a rap song. Metro PCS is doing a song called Broccoli. I can't even. Are they really doing that? I have not seen that commercial apparently. Sprint will probably get bought out by T-Mobile. I do think that's what's going to happen. I have an S7 Edge and the battery life sucks. So is it an upgrade on the battery for the S8 Plus? Yes, it's a definite upgrade on the battery life compared to the S8 Plus, compared to the S7 Edge. My S8 Plus is a way better battery life than the S7 Edge had. I also kept my Note 4 because baby's batteries are awesome. Yeah, look, overall the S8 Plus is definitely a better battery life than the S7 Edge. But if you had a Note before, I would wait for a new Note at this point, but it's up to you. Just bought an S8, cracked the screen. What's the best screen protector? Currently, I've heard Bodyguard's glass screen protector is probably the best screen protector currently for the S8. Are you getting any lag on the S8? It seems like people now are experiencing it. No, I've not experienced lag on my S8 Plus. Not yet, at least. Like your show, you're not afraid to say what you think. Kudos for you and thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, I tell you guys exactly what I'm thinking. I'm not gonna sugarcoat or do like the PC thing or whatever. What's a better? I really do hate when reviewers do the whole "oh well, it's up to you" kind of thing on who's better. That's why I did like which one's better. I did a segment called "Which One's Better" because that's what you want to know. When I compare two phones side by side, you want to know which one's better. You don't want to say like, "Oh, well, it's up to you. It depends on this and it depends on this." Really, I'm viewing this comparison for you to tell me which one is better. What is the best smartwatch? Gear S2 or Gear S3 or the Apple Watch? Okay, well now you're gonna call me out on some shit because it depends on what you have. The Apple Watch is the best by far smartwatch for an iPhone. It's not a comparison. The Apple Watch is way better than a Samsung watch or than an Android Wear watch for an iPhone. However, for the Gear S3 and the Gear S2, Gear S3 is definitely the best smartwatch for a Samsung phone. I'm currently going to test out the new Android Wear watch from Huawei. We're supposed to be getting it, so that's the big one that I can't wait for. I just realized that Samsung is saving the Bixby button for a new foldable. It makes sense. I'm not going to say you're right, but I mean, Bixby is so awesome that I think you would need it on a foldable screen. That's if there's one thing to match Bixby, it would be a foldable display. I spoke to a sales rep and they said it's not supported since they just won the frequency in a fixed auction. The 600 hertz will supposedly be triple T-Mobile coverage. Yeah, from what I heard, it's not necessarily faster. So again, this is from what I've heard. From what I've heard from T-Mobile personnel and their PR team and everything like that, it's not necessarily faster. It's just going to give them better coverage in like buildings and things of that nature. I mean, why did Samsung went and put a Bixby button on the S8? Seen as the S8 has OK Google. Why? That's what a lot of people ask, Jeremy. A lot of people ask, why try to do your own voice assistant when Google's voice assistant is already amazing and it's the best one currently out on the market? A lot of people ask that question. I cannot give you an answer on that. Don't know. Alright guys, I think we will call that a show. Went a little bit over an hour, and I got some more videos to record over here for you guys. Got to do some of the G6 videos, set that all up and really nice. And yeah, got some really cool stuff coming in the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're going to do our giveaway at the end of the month. So remember, we are what are we giving away this month, guys? What are we giving away? We're giving away LifeX light strips, and we're giving away the LG Tone Freeze. I have to finish my review on that. Just remembered. Here's the tip: if people want to keep their phone good, buy a good case. I have a LifeProof case. That's a really good case to have to protect your phone overall. Absolutely. Ricky, would recommend switching from Android to iOS. I currently have an S6 Edge Plus. I mean, iOS currently, I wouldn't get a new iPhone right now because the new iPhone's going to come out, so I would wait. So I would not switch right now. If you are going to think about switch to iOS, I would not switch now. Alright guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Before you leave, make sure to give a like, thumbs up, it always helps us out. And share this with friends, family, or share one of our other videos with your social media. It really helps us out, grow the channel. We're trying to get to 200,000 views because we're doing something special at 200,000 views. And if you are a long-time viewer of the show, you already know what that is. But 200,000 views is our goal in the next upcoming months to do something special. Alright guys, thank you again as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.